My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Bounce, pass. Sports. Pass, kick, pass. Dunk it.
What?
Funk it. Sure. Serve it. Here. Work it. Switch. Jocular. We're about to get jocular.
Welcome to Jocular!
The show where two best buds gossip about women's sports.
Now,
gang?
Why'd you say two?
We have some bad news.
Yeah.
So a lot of people know that Katie identifies as a tall hero.
A tall hero.
And Katie heard about I'm choking up already. Katie heard about those astronauts that are floating around in space. They can't get back down.
So Katie took it upon herself and took a space pod.
Well, it's her Prius.
Took her Prius, drove it right into orbit.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
we can't get a hold of her. It does say that she's just turned off notifications, but
we can't get a hold of her.
It's
hard when you lose a friend in space because you never expect it.
And I've watched so many documentaries about how not to get lost in space. And so I'm feeling frustrated that I didn't share that knowledge with her.
You were gatekeeping it.
I was gatekeeping
You were gatekeeping it. How to stay safe in space.
You have to, folks, when you watch a documentary, you have to use it as a learning moment for everyone around you.
Learn from us. This is our mistake. Katie's in space in a Prius right now because
probably hungry, probably scared.
Probably has to pee. Has to poop.
Probably full of poop.
Probably full of poop in space.
But we must soldier on.
We have to talk about what's in the group chat.
We do.
What's going on in the group chat?
It is the middle. It's not really the middle of summer anymore. It's almost the end. But for LA folks, it's the middle of summer.
It is.
And if you're not familiar with the way that the summer works in LA, it's that it starts at kind of the end of June and then it lasts till the end of November. And it's heat from the underworld.
It's weird. It's definitely weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then when November hits, all of a sudden it's freezing.
Yes.
And then you have to wear several cardigans. And then it rains for
4 months.
4 months.
Which I love, actually. I like that part.
I'm doing that thing where I'm like walking the streets. I'm like, we need a good rain. Because it's starting to smell like dog piss everywhere.
Yes. But you need a good rain is so what a handsome thing to say.
We need a good rain.
We need a good rain.
We need a good rain.
I have a view of the mountains from my house, and when
brag.
A huge brag. My house. Apartment. And when it rains, there's all this beautiful, soft little cloud coverage, and the mountains get really clear, and it gets the smog out of the way. And I pretend I'm Ernest Hemingway, but hotter and out. Because I was gonna say and gayer, but I'm sorry,
Ernest.
Ernest,
you're gay.
Yeah.
I hope you're listening.
Yeah.
You're gay.
You're gay. I went to his house in Cuba.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's gay. He was closeted in a painful way, obsessed with his masculinity. Do I think that bi guy? For sure. Do I think he's a straight man? There's literally not a world.
No. His house is on Grindr. It's part of it.
Oh my God.
You can look it up.
That would be awesome.
What if Grindr all of a sudden was not only you could find singles, but you could also find famous queer monuments. Wait, did I just...
We launched that.
We should launch that.
That's the Jocular app. That's beautiful.
Wait, we should do that.
Wait, Harry, delete this. It's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Pretend you didn't hear that.
Yeah, pretend you didn't hear that, please.
The reason we're talking about the summer is because I want to know what you're doing to get through the heat. Have you taken on any fun activities?
Yes.
Okay.
I have started lap swimming, and I got my wife and I got a public park pool pass, and I feel so powerful.
Yeah.
There's nothing more than there's nothing more than I love than like. Wait, why is that?
Nothing I love more than.
Yes, thank you.
That's longer than one brown-eyed girl.
Oh, I thought we were not going to talk about that again. There's nothing I love more than getting a publicly funded card. Public
Like a library card.
I
Wow.
fucking love my library card. The public pool pass is amazing.
Yeah. It feels like a badge. That's why.
It does.
Like I'm a cop, but I'm good.
Yes. And the person who gave it to me, like, we signed up for it, and she was like, "You're going to want to laminate that." And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to want to.
Do I wish that they laminated it?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's my one complaint.
That is my one complaint about the public pool. You know what? Our tax stars aren't going to laminating anymore.
No, we need a laminating machine at the
Like, what
public
about
pool.
the fucking COVID cards?
Why weren't those
Why
laminated?
weren't those
That was
laminated?
crazy.
That was insane. Feels good. It's very meditative.
It is cool. I did like all the swim teams. Because
you look like a swimmer.
I that is my exact build.
Yeah. You are built to swim.
And I do remember the hardest one being butterfly.
I don't even attempt that.
Dude, that
one's insane.
I don't understand how people are doing that. And I did it, but I know that it did not look good. I know it didn't look right.
Oh, mine absolutely didn't look right.
Are you trying anything fun, or are you're like freestyle straight up?
I'm like freestyle straight up, occasionally breaststroke. Haven't done any sort of kick turns yet.
Oh, the kick turns.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited about it.
You got goggles?
I do have goggles. I don't have a swim cap yet because I feel intimidated by the process of buying one. I don't know why.
I'll help you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. You fill it up with water, you flip it over on your head.
Okay. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing a Speedo suit.
Fuck yeah. Onesie? Yeah, rad. when I think that the fun thing about being a dyke truly is that all of my friends are just rapidly becoming elderly men.
Oh, yes.
I'm not making fun.
No.
Like me too.
I am. I absolutely am.
Like you are becoming an elderly man. I recently got rid of my TV so I could fit more books in my house because I was like, I'm not watching it anyway. And my summer activity has been birding.
Old man.
Old man. I just bought a new vest so that my harness would fit for my birding binoculars.
Okay.
Like elderly. It's almost the end.
What's the purpose of the harness? Just to like keep.
Listen, that was a question I would have had too. And I would have thought, you don't need all that stuff. When you put the harness on, first of all, you get the strength and power of God.
Okay.
And what it is you can just walk around, your hands are free, you're moving around, and then when you see the little birdie, you just wheep.
Okay.
And you pull that thing right up.
And it's different than just your average strap. It has more support for you.
Yeah, I'm not wearing a strap around my neck. I can't explain it. You like wouldn't want that neck weight.
Okay.
it's like
No, I completely I understand this.
It's bizarre.
No, I get this.
It also, I know this sounds silly, but the harness keeps the binoculars from bouncing while you're hiking around. So
which isn't very important.
It's awesome.
I love this for you.
The binoculars are the coolest thing. Besides the fact that I can't say the word without sounding like a toddler, because it's like hitting a couple of my speech impediment points. Binoculars. It's the coolest thing I've ever owned. I can't tell you the simple pleasure of owning these fucking things that I can look at a spider that is a foot in front of my face and see its fucking chin hair. And I can see the gas tank on the side of a plane, like in flight. I feel like a bird pervert.
No, you're a bird perv. You're a pervert.
I'm a pervert.
You're finally.
And I have to tell the people that outside of like outing myself as a bird pervert, I'm using the Cornell app. So Cornell University developed an app called I think it's called Merlin, And what it is you bring your phone with you and you turn it on and you start recording. And they, based on all the bird calls that you're hearing, they'll be like, ooh, well, that's a goldfinch. Ooh, that's a bulbul. Ooh, and so then you just spend your time being like, okay, well, I know a bulbul's here. So I'm going to stay in this one place until I see the bulbul.
What's your favorite bird you've seen so far?
Straight up, it's that guy. I do like the black phoebes because they're really cute and small. It's common. This is a common bird, the wren, but it's a true little ball of a bird. It's like when people draw a little bird, that's what they're drawing, a wren. I love the name, the titmouse. A fun fact about the brown-headed cowbird, which is also, the males are really good looking, is that the female brown-headed cowbirds get in trouble, they're notorious for it, for giving birth in laying their eggs in other gals' nests. That's like
that's a thing.
That's the brown-headed cowbird, and everyone's like the app is basically, this is my language, but the app is like, she's a bitch. And the photo of her, and I know they're mad at her, the photo of the brown-headed cowbird is her yelling, screaming, open mouth
like
at a sparrow.
So it's like what the media does to like Hillary Clinton.
Exactly. Like they don't tell you,
but they'll post a shitty picture of like, Hillary, Kamala, going like, ah!
That's exactly. And what they're not telling you is that she had to lay her little egg in that nest because her husband's abusing her. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Yes. I love the bulbuls because they have a little hat on. And they have red butts. Not tails, butts. So yeah.
If you're listening, they're like shaking right now.
I am.
I love it.
I'm sweating. I am sweating talking about it.
No, I think that's so fun and also so sweet and lovely. I feel like I've heard several queer friends get into birding.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's elderly butch summer.
It is elderly butch summer. I feel like, here's the thing. You can pull off harnesses, dikes, everyone can. When I see, I was at the beach this weekend and I saw a man in one of those. I was like, no. Men shouldn't be allowed to walk alone on the street or.
I agree.
Or have any sort of like visual, like binoculars or harnesses.
What's wrong with you pervert?
You can't. You shouldn't be allowed.
Well, and let me say you something. Like, you as a man living in a patriarchy, you need to be in an office making money for your whole family since you refuse to let your wife have happiness.
Exacwhy.
Okay?
Why are you out in the street?
Why are you out in the street? Why are you relaxing?
Out in the street unattended?
Leisure activities are for your little servant wife who you got paid a dowry to marry. Fucking freaks.
This is what happens when Katie's not here.
We were honest about the patriarchy because the setup's insane.
Yeah, it's terrible.
The setup's insane.
Ugh. Okay.
Anyway, listen, that's what's going on. That's our big summer activities.
Tell us what you're doing.
Yeah.
This summer. What are some fun activities that you're doing outside that feel good, or inside? Whatever. Like, what summer activities are you doing to just slow down and enjoy yourself?
And tell me where you bird. And when we come back after this break, we're going to talk about the other biggest activity of the summer.
The U.S. Open!
Yes.
We're about to get jocular.
Make this new school year an opportunity for your kids to learn important life skills with Greenlight. Greenlight is a debit card and money app for families where kids learn how to save, invest, and spend wisely, while parents keep an eye on kids' money habits. Greenlight also helps families get into their fall routine with a chores feature that lets parents assign chores and pay kids allowance when they check them off. Get your first month free at greenlight.com/Spotify. Greenlight.com/Spotify.
We're back! What is your relationship to tennis?
I played tennis in high school.
Did you?
In middle school.
Okay.
And then I got swept up and taken to volleyball.
Okay.
Actually, the tennis coach was like, the volleyball team needs a middle, and then took me and transplanted me.
Right.
Yeah. What about you?
I only started I love watching it. Big fan of watching it. Only started playing in the pandemic, like when my wife and I were in the middle of Illinois during lockdown.
Oh, yeah.
And we were playing tennis, and she's very good, and I, like, couldn't beat her, which is very hot and humbling, I would say. The only time I beat her was the day that she was having like a bad day emotionally.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Well, a weekday.
And a weekday for her, and I took advantage and I won.
That's good though. Sorry.
I mean, I'm sorry.
An athlete doesn't let their mental get in the way of their game, bro.
Sorry, I beat
mental
you.
is the game.
Sorry, I beat you.
I was dating somebody. I was playing in a league, like a little like COVID league too, where we'd all go with our little masks, and because you're across from a net, we'd be like freedom. You know what I mean? And we would all play in rounds. Actually, with like Andrew.
Oh,
and Alan and a bunch of our
How were you
against
friends? All of them? You crushed them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, and actually everybody had great moments. There were all days that people had good ones, but it was me and my now ex barely survived it, and obviously did not survive that.
Yeah.
But like I do think it was like one of the final things was that she would get frustrated and kind of quit, and I was like, this is an unlivable position.
No, this is what's happening everywhere else.
Yeah,
don't want to do this.
I cannot have this. I've got too much coach in me.
Yes.
Truly, I'm going over there and being like, babe, you got to get out of your head. You got to have some positivity. Yep. They don't want to hear that.
No,
you know what I'm saying? And so it was, that was the end. That was the end.
Oh, okay. Well, are you watching the U.S. Open, which happens August 26th to September 8th? It's been going on, but we had our first round starting for the women on this past Monday. And it takes place at the USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center in New York City.
And we don't have to tell you this, but Billie Jean King is obviously one of the most important figures in all of women's sports, if not like arguably.
Maybe one of...
I mean, like top three,
yeah,
really.
I would say. I would put her in my top three. If you had to have like a Mount Rushmore of like, is it 4 presidents on that?
That's a fucking good question.
Okay, if you had to have 4 sports icons, their heads into the side of a mountain.
Well, and it's hard because Billie, there are people that I'm thinking of that I'm like, well, they paved the way for the person that I would actually put on the mountain.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah.
Like Lisa Leslie, it comes to mind because she was so, for me, like she was such a... Everybody, even if you didn't watch women's basketball, everybody knew who. Yes,
knew Lisa Leslie.
Yes, but then like the person I think that even broke more ground than Lisa Leslie ended up being Candace Parker,
and for the WNBA probably. Yeah.
Yes, and so I'm kind of going like sport, but like obviously I do think Simone Biles has to be on it.
I think Simone. I think Serena.
Yes.
I think maybe Billie. Mia Hamm has to maybe go on there for me.
Well, and are we only talking about Americans? Dude, this is a hard one.
This one's a hard one.
That's
a
good question.
Okay, we'll have to think about it more. I was only thinking of Americans because...
No, we keep it American.
We keep it American because if we go...
Because it's Mount Rushmore.
It is Mount Rushmore. It's Mount Rushmore. It's in America. And I wanna blow up the side of the mountain with no regard for the ecological systems.
Indigenous
people or the ecological systems.
Yes.
So...
God damn it! That was really psychotic.
It's really crazy.
Yeah, I just watched a whole ass fucking documentary about that shit, and you're like, oh, all of these indigenous people are being like, this land is like so sacred to us. Like, please, 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 you've taken so much else. Will you just let us have the sacred land? And they're like, let's blast 4 white boys into this mountain.
It's just. I've never seen it in person either. Have you?
No, I'm not going to fucking hell.
No, we're not going to hell.
Sucking Satan's dick. God damn it. Fuck.
Oh, but Billie Jean King. We'd put in the mountain.
It's so funny. Katie's not here, and it's just you and I.
Get angry.
We're militant.
Yeah, we are, and I feel like when Katie's not here, we're saying things that. I don't know. Is the FBI listening to us?
Fuck the FBI. I know they're fucking watching me.
They're listening to us.
Listen to me. I know you fuckers are watching me.
Yeah.
And fuck you.
Fuck you.
God damn it.
Harry, you're implicated in this.
Yeah.
Billie Jean King, incredible. I love using her name as a segue out of more militant things. Sorry, it's just coming very natural to me.
Yes.
Oh, okay. It's the final Grand Slam of the year. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
No.
It's a final Grand Slam of like the Grand Slam calendar. It's held on hard courts, kind of
Do you like hard courts or clay better?
I've only ever played on hard courts. And I would love to try. Grass seems fun.
Yeah.
And clay seems like cool and sweaty in that way that like the clay gets up on your socks and it gets a little dirty. And
I think grass is the prettiest. I think clay is the coolest. I think you get the most powerful like version of tennis on the hard courts. It's like watching sand volleyball versus like indoor volleyball where like, okay, I get it, sand is cool, but they're only able to jump like 9 feet where like on a hard court, they're able to jump like 11.
Yes.
It's a difference.
It is a difference. It is a difference.
I was watching today and I forgot that tennis is truly one of those sports where you can see who the like celebrity players are versus the people that are just like in the tournament, and their rankings don't have to be that much different. But I was watching one game that was like a round oneer, and there were so few people in the stands that people were just standing kind of on the court. Like, it was completely and totally silent. Even the announcers seemed to be kind of just like sipping on tea or something. Like, they would kind of occasionally come in and be like, yep, well, like, just like not active at all. And then I flipped it over and was watching the Osaka highlights. It was Naomi Osaka versus Ostapenko. And they're talking the whole fucking time. And the whole stadium is filled.
It's crazy.
That would be an embarrassing place to be.
Yeah. When they're like, you two, center court. You...
There's a space in the parking lot if y'all wanted to.
If you want to use the parking lines as the court, you can. It was very cool to see Naomi Osaka win that.
I love watching her. She just seems in such a stoic mode right now.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like she has gone through so much in her career and also is trying to come back from being a mom, like giving birth, which is crazy to me. Trying to come back and be a top elite athlete after giving birth. And she, I think, has found a place where, like, in this one, it looked like she was, like, having fun again.
Yes. Yeah, I think she looks like she's in that mom mode. I do think that it clicks some athletes into, like, a higher gear.
Yeah, I think so, too.
You know, once they can get over the truly the physical trauma of birth, then they just come back with a completely different mental headspace than any other player can possibly imagine.
Yeah, because I think they come in it with, like, wow, this is such a fun thing. You know, like...
Yeah, like, you're not going to convince me this game is hard when I've pushed a human being out of my body. Like, they just don't seem to care as much. And so she does, I think that's where the stoicism is coming. But I was also watching Sloane Stephens. I like Sloane. Sloane lost in round 1. And Sloane is a completely different player, I think, than Naomi, where I think Sloane has a really beautiful... powerful free swinging forearm.
Yeah.
Or forehander. Like there's something about her swing where I'm like, that's as hard as I want to hit it. Like
I wish I could hit it that hard.
It's less, there seems to be less of a tightness or a control and more of a true power behind it. Like the way that you'd want to hit a tennis ball, but you have to train yourself otherwise. She just has a real freedom to her. So I'm bummed that she lost.
I'm bummed that she lost too. And I will say her match is the match that made me like, again, remember how passive aggressive. I think the tennis announcers are the absolute meanest fucking announcers in all of sports. Like she was playing so well, and then as she started to slip, they just go, she forgot how to win. I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
she forgot how to win. It's like you're like, you know, evil step parents are narrating the game.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, she forgot how to win. And then she made one like she missed a forehand really far, and you just hear them go, oh.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was watching the Sinner game, who's not that we care about this, but if you do care about men's sports, Sinner, the redheaded Italian, which I find important because how's it happening?
What are we doing? What's happening there?
I know we're not supposed to talk about it, Harry, but like, redheaded Italians, it does confuse me. I never know.
It always surprises me.
It's always a surprise. I'm not saying I like it or don't. I'm saying it's a surprise.
I think it's clear which side you come down on.
No, I don't think so. I think it's kind of hard to tell where we're coming from.
All I'm saying is I thought he was German.
All I'm saying is where'd the pasta sauce go?
Look like it on there.
Billie Jean King. Billie Jean King.
Billie Jean King.
The announcers for the Sinner game were like, because he just got in trouble for steroids, were like, yeah, he just can't seem to play today. Yeah, and the crowd's not going to help him. Crowd seems pretty displeased he's here. Like, they were full ass. There was no like, it's like they have no PR.
Yes.
And they're just like, I hate him. Do y'all hate him too?
Well, that I agree with. That's a good use of
that. It was
that's good announcer
judgment.
energy.
It was.
That's good announcer. Because sometimes I feel like the announcers in the past too, because we had talked about this before the pod started, but like tennis used to be such a blindingly white sport because of country club racism. And like now that's not the case, which is so beautiful. But because of that, it's taken years for these announcers to finally not be so like microaggressive or even just aggressive with their racism.
Yeah,
they used to be terrible with,
they're
especially
just doing
Serena.
It to everyone now. Yeah, like I do remember like watching Serena play before we were having a real conversation out loud.
Yes.
About race in the game.
Yeah,
and them just being like, she's just fucking annoying, huh?
yeah.
Like, she's so loud when she hits, right? Am I right, Rick? Don't you fucking hate that bitch? And you're like, whoa. Yes, and so now it is nice seeing like, yeah,
they're trying. There's an adjustments have been some what are those like some DEI classes have been taken,
and they all agreed we're not going to not be racist, but we're going to be racist to everyone, including the whites. Honestly, if this is the agreement they met, like fine. I'm okay with it being cunty.
A little cunty, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, as long as they're equal opportunity cunty.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They kind of remind me a bit of like the gymnastics announcers.
Oh, yes.
Where like, somebody would like wobble a little and they'd be like, complete lack of control.
Yeah.
Like,
what?
She just did 6 flips.
On a 4-inch beam.
Yeah. They're like, well, if she didn't know how to do it, she shouldn't have signed up for this one.
Like if I was an announcer, I'd be like, I know she missed the court, but it was still very strong.
Yeah. Whoa, big swing. Overhand, always cool, even if it doesn't get in.
Yeah. Into the net. Cool that they even get to be on court at all.
Yeah, it would have been cool if it went over. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't really matter.
Does not matter.
Wait, the U.S. Open has a Pride Night? Wow.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it says here. The U.S. Open's Open Pride Night event. Why?
I was just thinking
US
about
Open,
Harry
Open Pride.
looking this up.
Yeah.
Like Harry looks up facts for us. I don't know if you folks have gathered that yet. He looks up some facts for us. And some of the facts he looks up, you can just tell he's like, I think the Dykes will like this one.
Yeah, this is one.
U.S. Open LGBT.
Yes.
Enter.
Wow. Okay, so the U.S. Open's Open Pride event is on August 29th, celebrates the LGBTQ plus community.
And how are they going to celebrate?
It does. It just says with activities and discussions. Well, I like this. It's called the Be Open campaign, promoting progress and equality. And it has. I like that.
I like that too. I just wonder. I like
that.
It all makes me laugh because it reminds me of that Dodgers controversy. Like sometimes I do think that sports. Like teams will just be like, it's Pride Night.
Yeah.
Queers are allowed.
Yeah. It's Pride Night. Here are some rainbow-colored tennis balls.
Yeah, we're giving away a gay jersey. None of the players wanted it.
Oh my God. You're so right. Sometimes the Pride Night does not have the full force or support and the resources that it needs. Sometimes it does feel like they're like, well, these were on sale at Party City and they were rainbow and we're handing them out.
Yeah, we're giving away free shots of vodka to everyone under the age of 8. It is Pride Night. Milwaukee Brewers, let's go.
Will someone let us host a Pride Night?
Please. Why can't I?
Because, why can't we?
Why can't I? Because I want to give shots away to the kids?
Because I want to hit on the wives? What's going on? Why can't we?
Hitting on the wives is part of the night.
I'm proud to be hitting on them.
It's gonna be a long edit.
What do you
Billie Jean King.
King? Billie Jean King.
Did you have a favorite player when you were growing up, other than Serena?
I
can't say Venus.
fuck. Okay. I did really like watching Martina Hingis because she was so young when she first. And I think at the time I was like, wow, 16-year-olds can do cool things, and she was like winning amazing things.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Monica Seles as well, and I also Jennifer Capriati, and Steffi Graf, all that generation. I did enjoy.
Yeah, Tien.
I did enjoy and sorry, but Andre Agassi looked like a pretty lesbian.
Yo, Andre's hot.
Andre's hot.
I did have a mental affinity for the men because I did think that they were almost gender affirming for me, where I was like, that's kind of my build.
Okay.
Like these are some really shreddy guys, but like the long, lanky guys, and
like Pete Sampras.
Yes, and Nadal with the long
yes.
hair, and even when Federer had, and I was like, these are kind of just like beautiful, feminine, like haughty athlete men.
That's what I think.
Yeah. If I had to
say it,
kiss a man. If I had to kiss a cis man.
Okay, well, who would you kiss?
I would probably be one of them tennis players.
I like that.
But I think because it would feel like we were both doing gay for pay somehow.
So something about that feels even gayer.
Yeah.
It feels very gay.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, it's like same kind of size. It's just like somehow we would turn into one large Twizzler. If you had to kiss a man, who would it be?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Young David Beckham. Because again, similar dykey energy, beautiful.
Soft little mouth.
Soft little mouth, soft little voice. She was on my wall as well.
Yeah.
So I had a poster of David. Kind of felt like my beard poster, you know?
You have a poster of David because you want to be him so that you can date Posh.
That's exactly right.
That I had when I liked men growing up, I realized later it's because I wanted to kiss their wives.
Yes. Oh my God. It's all coming back to
me now.
If you know how the famously tennis has that like grunt. What was it? What did yours sound like? Did you have one? And if not, what would yours sound like?
I have a pretty big grunt on my backhand.
Okay. What does it sound like?
I don't even know. When I was watching the Olympics, when I was watching the volleyball Olympics, I'm much more like attuned to that grunt. When I would get a real big block, you know, when you're coming down from a block, you're in the air at the same time as the hitter, and you're face to face, eye to eye. And in that moment, I would get like a full like,
okay, that's cool.
Like that, like dragon scream.
That's very
and
cool.
I think my partner said this too. Every not male person on earth needs to be in a position where they could do that, because I do actually think that that's like so encouraged in men's sports. But when you watch Caitlin do something like that, they're like, she's out of control.
Oh yeah.
And it is such a brain development when you realize you can just do like a war scream.
No, I think we should be, yes, like we need more war.
We do.
Screams.
We need more war screams.
We need more war screams for non-cis men.
Yes. Yeah, because the cis men are always like...
No, they're loud as fuck.
The let's go thing
oh my
is...
God, I hate the let's go thing.
Listen to me. When I hear that, it's like the way that people, when they hear like a lion in the distance, where I'm like, we're all about to die. We got to get out of here.
Yep.
That's what let's go means to me.
When I hear like, let's go, let's fucking go, my whole body...
Mm-hmm. We gone.
Yeah, I'm going away from here.
Yeah. Into my bunker.
Yeah.
Which the FBI can't know about.
You don't know where ours is.
You don't know where mine is.
And you'll never know.
Do you have a scream?
Do I have a scream?
Do you have a sports scream?
I'm trying to think about my sports scream. Like, I think I scream more out of frustration than like, you know, when you're playing... You can't really scream too much when you're kicking. I don't think. I'm trying to think of like.
What about when you score?
When I score, I would probably. I feel like "come on" feels very natural to
Yeah.
me. Like "come on," I feel like that is what I
Yes.
would do. That felt natural.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I got kicked out of a game on the drop down for the block for yelling, "That's right, bitch." Which I don't know why I would get kicked out for that.
Wait, from what? Wait,
So
wait.
she hit it, I blocked it, and while you're coming down, I just full out was like, "That's right, bitch."
Okay, that's incredible. Why would you get kicked out for that?
Because people are cowards. And she didn't have a fucking problem with it because we were doing the same fucking thing the whole time.
I don't like that. I like you doing that. I don't like you being punished for that.
Me neither.
In 5th grade, I'll never forget. I'll never forget this.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing football. I was one of the only girls playing football with the boys.
Of course.
5th grade. Did something fun or exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I might have had just caught a long pass. And I remember I turned around and I go, "Bite me!" And I got sent to the office for that.
You and I have talked about this. I've always understood that to mean eat me out.
I didn't know that then. Is that what that means?
But you and your wife and me had that conversation at a bar one time where she was like, we were having a linguistics conversation.
Oh,
we were
okay.
Where it's it's different.
Right, like suck. It's like suck it.
It is like suck it.
It is like suck it. Huh. Now it's coming out. It's all coming back.
Yeah, but absolute bullshit because
Absolute
bite me
bullshit.
is so fucking good. And also, that's some fucking cishet culture because who the fuck is saying bite me for eat me out? The fuck are you talking about, bro?
I don't think that's a thing. I don't. That's not. I mean, it's more like bite my ass. You know.
Is that what that means?
I think so.
So it's bite my ass.
It's bite my ass.
It's bite my ass.
I don't.
I don't know.
I never connected it to eating someone out, but I hope it's not.
I did think it was the same thing as suck it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe I was.
Is that what you meant? When you said it?
I wasn't. Yeah, 5th grade. 5th grade, I was.
It's okay, and it's okay if she was, Harry.
No, I'm asking. I mean,
No, 5th grade, I was out there being like, "Eat me!"
Well, I mean, I guess it could just mean bite my arm.
Bite my arm. I think maybe bite. Who are you rooting for?
I'm rooting for Osaka. I think what I like about her is outside of just her gameplay is everything that she's standing for right now. I like to see in sports specifically, I like to see women who are women of color who advocate for their mental health and are, really push the boundaries of what we think athletes can be, aka becoming a mother and still playing and succeeding. And so I just think that those kind of players do so much good for society at large that I would be betraying myself not to root for her. What about you?
I would say I would be happy with either her or Coco Gauff winning.
Yeah, Coco
because I
rules.
feel the same way with Coco as well. Because I feel like she's such a young player and advocates for mental health and is also an activist. So I just feel like those athletes that are thoughtfully using their platform, I always want to root for.
Yes.
And it helps that they're both really fucking good too and fun
And
to watch.
cool.
And cool and really fun to watch.
Yes.
Just such fun players.
Yeah, we get to root for the best people. That
I
fucking
know.
rules.
That is really cool.
Tien,
Yeah.
I think it's time for a break.
Okay.
Goodbye.
About to get jugular.
And we're back.
We just got a phone call. Katie is alive.
Katie's good. Katie's good, but is stuck in an orbital path that is not allowing her.
No.
She's kind of stuck in the same path the moon takes. You know?
Yeah. So to kind of describe this more, she wanted to. We were like, "Can you call in? Can you zoom into the pod?" And she was like, "I'm in this orbital path that is the same path that the moon takes, but we don't have Wi-Fi."
Yeah, for some reason the moon's Wi-Fi is really not good.
It's really bad.
And it's not a great connection.
Right.
And she's having a hard time calling in.
But she's thinking of us.
And she's thinking of you.
Yeah, she said she's mad at Harry, but she said she would tell us why once she got back down and don't say anything.
She
What?
did say that. She said she didn't.
She said she was mad at me.
You're not supposed to be listening to the
You're-
whole fucking
yeah.
thing.
I have to. It's
You're the
literally my
FBI.
job.
You're the FBI. Do you think we landed on the moon?
What?
So the way this game works, I don't know a lot about the rules of games. So I learned a little bit about some interesting rules about tennis.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to ask you. I'm going to mention the rule. I'm going to ask you why you think. I'm going to ask you why you think that rule exists.
Right. Okay.
And we can talk about whether or not we think it's a good rule.
We got it.
Okay, great.
You both have played tennis, so you'll probably know these.
Yeah.
You would hope so.
Okay, the first one. Quiet down, coach. Since the 1980s, coaches have had to zip it during matches. They're not allowed to help their players at all while a match is going on.
True.
Oh, wait, are we?
These are all true.
These are all.
False. False.
But what, isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
Oh, I find it true.
I find it. I find it true too. I find it true too. I find it interesting because I feel like I want the game itself, right? Like it's such a battle of your own mental.
It's chess.
It is chess.
Yeah, but I do think it's the thing about chess is like you are seated, you can see the whole fucking board. The nice thing about having your coach be able to interact with you is being like, this is your blind spot because you're not getting an aerial view. Like in chess, you are getting a fucking aerial view
Yeah.
of your board, and in tennis, you're not. And so I do think it would be helpful to at least maybe like once a match.
I do think that rule is only for because I've seen coaches help their players at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's across all Grand Slams. I think there are
Harry, look it up.
certain.
Okay.
I think there are certain tournaments where coaches are allowed to intervene,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen like Coco Gauff's coach be like, "You need to put a little more shape into your." But I think at the U.S. Open, you can't talk.
Yeah, that might be.
Well, then I'm going to change my answer. False.
The WTA began allowing coaches coaching during matches in 2020.
Yeah.
False.
Exchanges are limited with hand signals.
Yep.
And they can only talk for 25 seconds.
Yeah. So
That's fine.
I see what you're saying. I think it's like a nice middle, but I think it's like a nice sort of compromise because it is such a solo game out there that like allowing someone to intervene too much could slow the game down.
Yeah, but sometimes you watch those games where the players get in their heads really hardcore and you're like, I wish
Yeah.
we could break that up.
I know when they start like punching their own thigh, I'm
Yeah.
like, can a
No,
coach
no,
get in
no,
there?
No.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's not
No,
gonna help you.
Yes, no, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, next, Harry.
Next. Net flick, that's chill. If your serve clips the net but still lands in the right box, you get a do-over.
True.
True.
Again, all true. These are just rules of the game. Except for the first one, which was only kind of true.
Well,
Let first serve, right?
yes.
How do you feel about that rule? If it only hits the tip of the net.
It's a do-over.
Yeah.
And let me know if this isn't interesting.
I think it is.
Shut up, Harry. It's obviously interesting.
No, it's making me think for a second.
Yeah, don't talk shit on
don't.
yourself.
I love this.
Jesus.
Idiot. We talk shit on you. You don't talk shit on you.
Yeah.
God. No, I love this game.
I love this game
Thank
too.
you, thank
You're a genius.
Now I was looking for
God.
it. Please go ahead.
Is it because serving is so hard in tennis that like if you do mess up even just by a little bit, like a little nick on the net, that they're like, man, it is really fucking hard. You get to do it again.
I don't think that it should be a do-over. I think it should count.
Wow.
Yeah. I if I'm
Wow,
remembering
in
right,
your tennis land, you want
savagery.
savagery, no grace whatsoever.
No. I don't think we need it. And I think that actually there's like if I'm thinking of volleyball, if you hit the net and it goes over, like it does count on a serve.
Oh, it does, yeah.
And there's some strategy in that. And a lot of these players are so good that I think it would even elevate the serve.
Interesting.
If you could do it, that's like precision shooting.
Interesting.
The rule exists to ensure that the receiver isn't unfairly disadvantaged by a ball that might have been slowed or altered by the net.
I mean,
Well, they need to be ready for it. That's literally their job.
Wow.
I'm so sick of this. Some people don't know how to work anymore.
No,
They
no.
need to get off their
tennis players
ass
need to get off their ass and be ready to return.
and go to work.
Back in my day, tennis players would just hit the ball back no matter what.
And when it comes over the net, need hit it. It doesn't matter where it goes. Jeez, I'm here.
You need to get up and serve.
Next.
No lollygagging.
False.
You've got 25 seconds between points to get your act together. That's enough time to make 4.1 vines.
If you didn't know how to follow producer Harry, he is still on Vine
At producer
Harry. At producer Harry.
I'm the only one left on there.
He's the only one left on
Very
Vine.
prolific.
Well, you're an investor, huh?
Yeah. I actually bought it after the whole thing got shut down.
See, I like the 25-second rule.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
100%. There's so many mind games happening already. If you can like curb one of them, which is like time wasting or like the psychological aspect of like taking too long between. I love that. I love it.
Especially because it's a quiet sport. Like the
Yeah.
audience is relatively quiet. Like they just did that for the MLB. I think it was like last year or 2 years ago. Is they
Pitch clock.
Yes, and I do think the pitch clock is better. Like
I
these
do
games don't
too.
need to be fucking 5 hours long.
I completely agree.
Yep. That's why they did it too, to make it more engaging for the audience.
It is.
It worked.
It worked on
so
me.
True.
True.
I wish the seating ump could, when people do get too loud, I wish the ump could be like, they're always like, quiet, please. But I wish they could be like, shut the fuck up.
I like it sometimes when the players do that. Have you seen
Wait.
those videos? Like it's like truly, you can look up like highlight reels of the players being like, "I did not come to your work and scream at you." Like fuck. I guess that's fair.
That is fair, I guess.
I've heard of trading spaces, but trading places? I've heard of that too. It's a movie. It's also one of the rules in tennis because players switch sides between every odd numbered game.
What happened?
Which thing?
None of those words.
I've heard of trading spaces, but trading places?
There we go.
I've heard of that too. It's a movie, and it's also a rule in tennis. Players switch sides after every odd-numbered game.
I like that rule.
Good job.
Thanks.
Harry, please don't be hard on yourself. I love all of your games. And I mostly like the games so that I can hear you reading the questions.
Or learn how to read the questions.
Well, it's hard to write them, and it's hard to read them, and to do them both?
Right.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I hear that.
I like that rule.
Yeah, I've got no problem with
I got no
that.
problem with
And
that
when the,
rule.
when the sun be in your eye, guess what? Next game, the sun be hurting your opponents.
When the wind is against you, guess what? Next game, the wind is with you.
But it does fucking suck when you're playing and it shifts.
It does.
You know what I mean?
It does. When you were like, when the wind was on your side.
wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
I can't wait to get to the other side and have the wind. Oh no, the wind.
It's so fucked. Then they're done that. All right. Next.
All right, only two more.
Harry, are you tired of us without Katie?
Not at all. I was in Vegas yesterday. I'm just tired. In general.
Oh,
yeah.
We're going to have to ask you about that.
Yeah. A nasty boy.
Harry's a nasty boy. Nasty.
I did go to a strip club for the first time.
How was
How's
that?
that?
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Was it in?
Although I
it's none of
talked to
my
one of the
business.
strippers about jocular for a long time.
Wait, are you kidding me?
Yeah. She
How?
actually took a screenshot of a news story that we needed to talk about on the show. I'll
Okay, we have to go back to that.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I can't believe we're like 2 hours into our recording
forgot
and
about
you've
that.
just started.
We love you, girl.
We love you.
She was really nice. Last one. Somebody called Gautier and Kimbra. In tennis, you only get one hit.
A goatee. Somebody that I
False.
used to know.
That's false. You
only
get
get
multiple hits in tennis.
Well,
you
it
idiot.
just sort of means, and during your
only
turn.
Pretty mean of you to say that Kimbra only had one hit.
That
Because
is crazy.
Well, the two of them together, I guess is what I meant.
yeah.
Speaking of one hit, Do you find it odd that Fat Joe is doing the tennis promos for the U.S. Open?
I did not know that, and you brought that to my attention.
I've been watching the highlights, and when you go on the U.S. Open website and you watch the highlights, the first thing that plays for a long time is like Fat Joe being like, power, elegance, grace. And then it's like people playing tennis, and you're like, is that Fat Joe? And then at the bottom of the screen, it says Grammy-nominated Fat Joe is narrating this. And you're like, huh,
Yeah.
Does he play tennis?
Is he? Is it because he's like a New York guy?
Is that it? That can't be it. A lot of people live in New York.
I know. I'm just thinking about so many other New Yorkers that they could have gotten.
Why did they do Fat Joe? I have to know. I have to know.
Maybe it was
I know Fat Joe's not playing tennis.
No, he's not playing tennis. And I don't think he's had a history of tennis in his music videos.
Fat Joe developed a personal connection to tennis because of his autistic son, who has grown up using tennis balls as a source of comfort.
Oh.
That's the only way this could be a realistic story.
Okay. Now that's very sweet. I still question why him.
Yeah, I'm kind of coming back around to sweet story and why is Fat Joe narrating the videos. That's cool.
That's really cool. I love that story. I stand
My
with-
brother likes fire trucks. I am not like the spokesperson for the fire department. It's still not clicking for me, but fuck yeah.
What would you like it to be?
Literally anyone that's ever played tennis before.
Yeah.
I think that would be huge for me.
I think it would be huge.
I want to hear Serena Williams' voice. That's what I want to hear.
Please, Serena
Yeah.
or Venus.
I want to hear Billie
That's
Jean
it.
King's voice. Yeah.
Those three. I think those are the only three that are allowed to
Yeah.
kind of narrate the U.S. Open.
I'd even take a Sharapova moment. I'm ready. I want to hear a famous tennis playing woman be like,
yeah.
power.
Or Martina Navratilova.
God damn. You know what? Or one of the Federers. Like
Give us Nadal. Give us.
Yeah, come on. I want an icon of the game.
Yeah, agreed.
Fat Joe was cool when I was in middle school.
What's love got to do? Got to do with it,
babe.
What's
love? Oh my God!
Hey, that's how you play Rule Book Rundown.
Wow!
Now I'm hearing it. What's
love
got to do? Got to do with it, babe. Fuck us. We were doubting this.
Forehand.
Nice.
Backhand. Hit it over the net, baby. What's up?
Shit, fuck us. We were
Wow, that's
totally
always
wrong.
about tennis.
Yeah, got to do with it, babe.
tennis.
God damn. Well,
It's time for.
mailbag.
Should I try it in an accent?
Of course.
Okay.
RIS. Rest in space, Katie.
Rest in space, Katie. This one goes out to you. Hey guys, I'm Georgie, they, them. I'm a huge fan of the pod all the way from London. I've grown up in North London within the huge rivalry between the men's Arsenal and Tottenham football teams, which pretty much guarantees harassment from ugly men and travel disruptions. Witnessing the uprising of women's football and experiencing the opposite among teams has been so special. Thank you so much for giving queer people a way to explore their love for sports through our beautiful community. One of the most beautiful things about being queer is it is an intersection of all communities and minorities, and there is, for the most part, a mutual respect for our different identities. My questions are: 1. What sport are you most excited to see at the Paralympics? And 2. What identity outside of your queerness do you feel enhances you as individuals and complements your queer identity? Thanks for doing what you do. Please come to London. I'll take you down to the pub. Lots of love, Georgie. XXXX. That was very sweet.
I just got the phone call.
Oh, okay.
You were nominated for an Emmy.
Thank you!
Yes. Yes.
Georgia, I really hope I
I thought it was Georgie. I
you
was
think it
like,
was
when
Georgie?
is Tien going to start reading? It's Georgie right now. Wow.
Georgie, if I offended you, please don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Don't.
If we hurt you,
if that was not,
you got to keep it quiet.
You can't tell anybody. I absolutely love this question. It's a thing that I love about women's sports that I never quite said out loud. Georgie, thank you. It's like when you go to a game and you're wearing an opposite jersey or like the jersey of an opposing team, I have yet to experience any, even like nagging harassment. It's so lovely. That's how it should be.
Yeah. It feels really special to be in a women's like soccer space.
It really does. Okay, so what sport are you most excited to see at the Paralympics?
Ooh, I don't know. I think the running is always really exciting, and I think especially because we had that conversation about track husbands.
I know.
And what's his name? The
Hunter Woodall.
Yeah, like that's exciting to me. The Paralympics, like the clips that I've been seeing it so far, they're so fucking impressive.
Yeah.
To really understand like the capabilities, the supreme capabilities, and the adaptabilities of the human body and mind.
No, I can't wait. I don't know as much about the Paralympics that I do of like the other Olympics. So like I'm truly excited to see everything.
Yeah, this is going to be, I think I'm going to really tuck in this year and watch as much of it as I can. Because I do think I've been guilty in that way that I think a lot of folks are, because you can see such a serious cutoff and decline in viewership from the Olympics to the Paralympics. Even calling it the Olympics and then the Paralympics, I'm still a little like, oh, that's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if they should just be,
like the Olympics.
Yeah, and just having different, events inside of the Olympics for differently abled bodies.
Yes.
Like, it seems like that would be the way to go and would guarantee viewership. But until they make that change, I'm gonna make sure my numbers counted. You know what I'm saying?
Same. And I saw there was a campaign that like athletes are really, because I think again language matters, and people in the past, able-bodied people, have been saying like participating in the Paralympics, and athletes very much rightfully so are being like, no, I'm competing in the Paralympics.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to like watch and support all these athletes that have been working so hard.
Yeah, that's true. We can't. It's such a cultural condescension.
Yes, it is.
That we're like raised to have around people with disabilities, and you just, if anything, I don't know. I feel like the opposite should be true.
I know. I have to unlearn so much.
There's something so all the athletes, all Olympians are impressive. That we know that is true. And so, I don't know. I feel like that could be something that America could get really excited about if they would get out of their own way.
I'm excited. I'm like with you. I'm excited about track and field.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've been seeing that a lot.
The swimming.
The swimming
too. Holy cow. Basketball is always fucking cool. I do love watching the sports in the wheelchairs.
And soccer.
Sick.
Okay.
What identity outside of your queerness do you feel enhances you as individuals and complements your queer identity?
That's such a good question. That's such a good question. I mean, my thought immediately is like I don't talk about it as much, I guess, on this pod, but I do talk about it in my comedy, which is like being Asian American, and like thinking about what it means, like intersectionally, to be like a queer Asian American. That informs a lot of my like comedy, my outlook on life. And it's one of those things where like it's so interesting talking about identity in that way, because it's like I don't think about it. I used to think about it more, and I've gotten to such of a place of like essentially like learning more about myself that I don't think about it. Like,
you're landed.
Yeah, I've landed. Like when I first started comedy, did you ever have this? Like I first started comedy and I was very young, and I would say things like, I don't want people to see me as like the gay Asian American. Yeah. And now I'm like, no, those are my fucking superpowers, and that's my point of view, and why would I not want that?
Yeah. I know what you mean, and especially in that queer way, but I think that mine is a similar answer but different. I actually think that my whiteness and being a feminist comedian and having the experience of whiteness is, I really have the language to discuss whiteness. It's no longer invisible to me. And I think that helps me as somebody who's gets to be vocal and gets to talk to people, to say, listen, I don't expect you to be perfect. I'm certainly not perfect. Yeah. Like, I'm contributing in all of these ways. These are ways that I have contributed to a white supremacist state. And I can see what we're doing and I know why we're doing it and I know how we get raised and I know how we get tricked into like the comfortable position of participating in this way, that I just wouldn't be able to do if I didn't come from my own whiteness. And the comedian part of it is the part that I think helps me make that an accessible statement.
Yeah.
Where the comedian part of my identity helps me say, here's a big, ugly topic that we don't want to talk about. It's so fucking embarrassing. It feels so heavy. I'm going to make you intermittently laugh about it. And we still have to talk about it. And I do think that that's the power of comedy. I think it's what we're able to do even with Jocular. It's like we're all coming from, specific spots in our identity. We're all talking about sports, which is not necessarily a funny thing. And we're trying to make it accessible to viewers by taking the piss out of ourselves and each other and the world so that we can make sports accessible for a large swath of people.
I like that answer so much too, because I do feel like people like to try to depoliticize sports and depoliticize our identities because there's like this like want to have a color blindness to everything. And it's like, no, I show up differently and I like the space I take up or like how people react to me is going to be different to like how people react to you. And like, I think knowing that about each other with like my Asian Americanness, like your whiteness, I feel like those are discussions that people should be having and talking about because like they are like, I know in speaking with other Asian American folks, like there is a proximity to whiteness that we can also feed into like assimilation and white supremacy as well. And like people don't talk about that. And I think we should talk about it more that like, yeah, there isn't a color blindness. We need to be talking about these identities.
And that's the best part about working with different types of people with different bodies and different skin tones and different backgrounds is like we're able to have different conversations about the cross sections of our privilege or lack thereof in a way that keeps us all honest. And, you know, hearing Katie talk about, you know, I've known Katie for a long time and hearing her talk about the discrimination that Appalachians face and this like in talking to you about race and then getting to talk to you guys about like experiencing life in like a transmasc way is I think there's an extra care that we have and which engenders a trust between us and hopefully between the audience that they know like, hey, we're coming from a diverse enough series of perspectives that we're going to try to take care of everybody that we talk about. Except for the fucking FBI and bad patriarchal cishet men.
Yes, like
some
the
of you
ones
can live.
on Mount Rushmore.
You fucking assholes.
Yeah, that's right. No, but it's true.
Yeah.
Billie Jean King. It's
Billie Jean King.
No, I hope that we are creating like a safe space for everyone's intersecting identities.
Yes.
And if we like, I hope that if we do make mistakes, which we will, because we are human, that you will like call us out, and also we will do the work ourselves too to call each other out.
I mean, that's a good way to remind you that we got an email. Like, you know what's funny actually is you guys have sent us stuff to be like, you didn't know enough about this. Like, and also,
maybe we're creating two safe spaces.
You guys, listen to me. Here's the rule. Thank you for listening. Okay, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Jocular. Please rate and review, but only if it's 5 stars, and only then, after you've given us 5 stars in public, can you come home and in the privacy of our kitchen, tell us why we fucked up so bad about rugby. Which you did. You did. And we're sorry.
And we are happy to hear that. Like one of these 5-star reviews, such a joy. 5 stars. The level of athletic comprehension is very accessible, which to me is
thank you.
Thank you. It's the perfect show for queer folks who want to chat a little bit about women's sports. It's a show about community. And that's all we're trying.
Okay, this is from who the hell knows? Hot dykes make you cry laughing. 5 stars. Thank you. 3 super sexy best queer friends make you love women's sports even more. You don't need to be a super sports fan to enjoy the show. Agreed. They go deep on the sports they love while catching up to speed if you missed anything, while also exploring lesser known women's sports from absolutely lovely, kind, hilarious, gay angle. You'll be horny, tickled. You better believe it. Informed and feel held by the queer community. Yay! Sorry, the last one. We gotta read this.
Oh, okay.
These Olymp clits nailed it. 5 stars, despite the fact that all these hosts get paid $20,000 per episode.
Still true.
I still wanted to come on here and show my support for this extremely entertaining and gay podcast that takes women's sports so seriously. It's the perfect cocktail to my life. What are you doing with your $20,000 today? Because we get paid in cash after this happens.
We get paid in cash. I've asked mine in dollar bills.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really annoying for Harry because it's hard to find that many dollar bills. And
Harry has to find it.
No, he can't go to a bank. He has to find them individually scattered across the city.
Yeah.
So if he sometimes isn't like has a spelling error in our
So what? Yeah, like so it's hard for him to read. His eyes are tired looking for the cash.
looking for the cash.
Harry, can you play the outro music? Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Oh. Goodbye, sports. Goodbye, podcast. Goodbye, friends.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, fans.
Yeah, if you're listening.
Goodbye, FBI.
Listening, we meant every single word.
Goodbye, jugular.
Whichever us.
Fuck you. Freaky butt itchers.
Yeah.
Jocular is hosted by ER Fightmaster Tien, Tran, and Katie Kershaw. Jocular is a production of Hyperobject Industries with Metalark Media and was produced by Harry Nelson. Original music and theme are by Nick Gage and ER Fightmaster. Our executive producers are Claire Slaughter, Harry Nelson, Dan Libetard, and Adam McKay.
Oh my God! Fine.
How come you can't see any stars from this?
Fine. Put it away. Stop. Stop.